on still.
Well, at least everyone knows who you are.
Yeah, come on.
Yay!
Hey, 3 people are already watching.
Wow.
3.
One of them's us.
Good thing Tessa's got 4 phones. She just hasn't logged in for the 4th ring.
I'm not even on there yet.
Hi, everyone. We're
Hello.
back. Hey, Megan. After a disastrous week last week.
Yeah, last week was not good. Philip was on vacation, and I just went home and cried for 3 days.
So it was a disastrous week, but we're back
Yeah, we are back.
again for the first time.
Mhm. Yep.
So once again, I'm Philip.
I'm Tommy.
Welcome to RCX Unfiltered. And we have the lovely Tess behind
Hello.
the computer,
Mm-hmm.
kind of off to the
Off
side.
to the side.
Off, yeah, over there.
Over here.
So let's see. Do we have lots going on? No, not really. I'm not doing anything.
I have a lot going on, but
Tess, do you have a lot going on?
Not really.
Okay. All right. Well, we skipped the whole. We're gonna act like Amazing Spider-Man 26 never happened. We're gonna talk about Amazing Spider-Man 27.
yep. So I liked the issue, but I'm confused by it.
Well, this issue.
Yeah,
Okay.
because like when did Doc Ock get back in his old chubby body?
See, that I don't know, but he's been this way for a while. I'm assuming it happened during that other series.
I guess.
Remember when they did that I didn't read? If y'all could tell us when Doc Ock got back in his old body, that'd be great. Because I have no idea either. But they did that Superior Ox series, right? So I'm
They did.
assuming it must have happened at the
But
end
like
of that.
he was in a perfect clone body of Peter, and with Peter's metabolism, how in the world did he get fat again?
I don't know.
He does, and he looks like he used to look. So I don't know. It's confusing to me.
Actually, in this one scene, Mad drew him like Frogman.
Yeah, like
Right
he's
here.
he's full on evil again. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't really understand what's happening.
I do like the new arms, though.
Yeah, his new arms are cool.
He has new arms, and they're cool.
I think the best part of the book was the interactions with Peter and Norman.
Yeah.
Wow, they have made me really like Norman Osborn a lot.
Which I despise.
Yeah, it's a weird time to live.
It is very strange to like Norman Osborn in the book.
Oh, man.
But so this takes place a week or so after the events
Yeah,
of
not
issue
long
26. So if you haven't read 26, someone dies,
Yep.
which I still can't figure out why. Like, I mean, I know why. It's not the why, but
And
it's
last week, FOC was the Fallen Friend
Right.
one shot. I did not order a lot.
what?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no one's gonna buy it.
Yeah, it's a tribute to a fallen friend. With it's an anthology book where people are going to be telling stories like, "Hey, remember when this happened?" And I never liked clip shows on my sitcoms, so
Well, here's the thing, right? Remember they did the Falling Friend for Captain America and no one bought it.
that's true. They did a bunch of them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
no one
And
cared.
they were pretty good. Like none of them
And
were
they were okay.
terrible,
Yeah.
but like nobody really cared. Well, Megan, the good news is she'll be back in a minute or two. Like I can't imagine. I really think this whole thing was so that they can be like, okay, just kidding. She wasn't an Inhuman. This is a mutant power, and now she's brought back.
So her mutant power is to act like an Inhuman?
Yep. Yep. That's exactly right. There's nothing comics likes better than a good retcon.
What?
Yep.
What's the only thing worse than a sitcom? A retcon. Next, I did not read this book. Next, though, is Black Panther #1.
So
Number one, right there. Number one.
I read it because it was the first issue and it's e-viewing. So I was like, I'll give it a shot.
The costume's cool.
His redesign is awesome. I did not read the last Black Panther series, and I did not read the last run of Avengers, which is all referenced in this book. But basically, for the first time, we're seeing parts of Wakanda that they've never shown us before, which are like Wakanda. There's no abject poverty the way there is in other countries. Everybody has a place to live and they have enough food to eat. No one is starving or living on the street. So your base needs are met. And like in all the other things we've seen in Wakanda, everyone is prosperous. Everyone has not only what they need, but everything that they would want because the technology's advanced and the society's advanced. Well, this is the part of the country that just gets what they need and not so much what they want. So it's a little dirtier, it's a little darker. Everything's a little claustrophobic. The buildings are built really close together. It very much feels like a city. So it's an odd place in Wakanda we've never seen before.
This Moon Panther.
It looks like a Moon Panther.
So obviously, it's the first appearance of some new character.
Yeah, that is her first appearance.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, like we don't learn much about her.
Nope. This is pretty much it. This is what you get of her first appearance.
So 90% of the book is T'Challa just like sneaking around in the shadows, following this dude because he's like, I need to make sure this dude is who I think he is.
Dude.
Yeah, it's an odd first issue. I liked it. Like the art's great, the writing's good. It's Ewing. She's pretty good. But I'm not sure. I'm gonna read the second issue to see kind of where they're going because I don't know. This is not a Black Panther story I am familiar with.
Yeah. And everyone hates Black Panther right now anyway.
Yeah.
Or T'Challa.
Yeah.
So, even though he's on the Avengers again, it doesn't matter. So next up is Spider-Man India #1.
And I meant to read that today, and I did not.
So basically, it's just him sitting around. Overall, it's him sitting around talking to Miles and Peter and telling him, "Ha, you wish you had bad traffic." And then he goes back to his universe, and then everything breaks loose.
Okay.
So he does go back, and I guess it's kind of setting up his character similar to Peter's character at the beginning of his career.
Okay.
So that's really what this is going into, is going into kind of that piece. And like he goes to a science thing and, people are this. And of course he's questioning everything.
Yeah.
So like all Peters do.
I will say for the first time in a long time, Marvel put out a movie and featured a character. And they were like, people might want to read about this character after the movie comes out. So I will put the book out a couple weeks after the movie comes out.
So yeah. So here you go.
So, yep. That was very nice of them.
And then next is The Ghost of Kiev.
Yep. And this is clearly is a reference to the war in Ukraine. Written, it's from Tokyo Pop, oddly. And it's not manga sized, and it doesn't read backwards like a manga, except the pages still read like a manga, even though they're in American order.
Right.
It took me like 3 or 4 pages. I was like, what is happening? But once I figured it out, and there's not a lot of words and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm not going to butcher the creator's name because it's just very disrespectful, and I am the world's worst at it. So basically, when the war started, he wanted to write a story about the ghost jet, and he did, but it doesn't fit anywhere, and it wasn't a full-on manga. This was his short story, and then Tokyo Pop decided to just release it as a one-shot.
Yep.
So this is at the very beginning of the Ukraine-Russian war, basically talking about the ghost jet that is already myth over there at the beginning. Obviously, it must have been a larger myth in the Japanese culture than it was here. Like it was mentioned here.
Yeah, I heard people talk about it. I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
They do put a disclaimer that nothing in this book is true. It's all fiction. It's all fiction.
Air quotes. Air quotes. So, but it was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it was neat.
You know, like I said, at first to start reading, it was like, okay, yeah, stop. I got to go read this way, but go this way. So, but that's what they did here. So it is this full story. They did it's just a one shot, because it was a story he wanted to tell, and Tokyo Pop produced it for him, which I think is pretty cool, right? Like I can't remember a time where we basically just got a manga short story.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, we've usually gotten manga single issues. That's the normal manga, but they just split it up into single issues.
Yeah, and
this
like,
is a legitimate just short story.
and I don't know if like, because I know a lot of the mangas that get collected, like they show up in Shonen Jump,
Right.
Or was it Shoujo Beat?
Yeah.
As like 6 to 8 pages at a time.
Yeah.
You know, those are big anthology books.
Right.
And I don't know if this showed up in something like that before they published it.
Maybe,
I don't
but-
know. I didn't do that much research on it, but
Yeah.
it's interesting. I kind of hope they do some more stuff like this.
But this is the creator's name there, right here.
Tokyo
not
Pop
gonna-
has been publishing some Nightmare Before Christmas, like all ages books, and they're doing it in like normal comic book format, but the pages don't read backwards.
Yeah.
That was odd.
Nope.
My guess is they had it all lettered and then went, oh no, forget it.
That's usually what happens.
They're like, it's
Well, it's
done now."
easy to do the pages, right?
Yeah,
It's not so easy to change
Yeah.
where the word balloons
yeah.
go.
Once it's lettered, it's like,
Yeah, it's
more
like,
complicated.
I don't know if I want to do that. All right, next is Void Rivals #1 from Skybound and Image.
mhm.
So all we can do is say this is a full spoiler alert for
Yeah,
what's coming up at
if
Skybound.
you don't want to know what is happening in this book, I would say stop the show now, read the book, and then come back and watch the show at a later date.
Right.
Because we're going to
'Cause
talk all about it.
Because the next couple of minutes is going to be spoilers for this book.
Like, we're
So-
trying to figure out if we want to put up the poster they sent us because it's a spoiler for the book.
Right. And so, just so you know, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about this book now. Go. All right.
So, all right. First up, the plot is basically Enemy Mine, where these two people who are at war crash land on this little planet together, and then like we got to kill each other, and then it's like
Opening
well,
page. There we go. Void Rivals.
so we got to kill each other, or we got to work together because we're gonna die here, and then Jetfire from Transformers shows up.
So basically, this is the biggest rumor that's been in the industry for the last year.
I think year and a half. Is
Year and a
when
half
we first heard
is
about it.
where now we know's come true is that Kirkman has gotten the rights for G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Yep.
And this isn't a Transformers book. It's not a G.I. Joe book. It is a Void Rivals book with 2 new characters that Kirkman created. But coming out of this is the beginning of the Energon universe. And so basically, this is the beginning of all of that.
Yep.
So
So-
it's a good setup.
And I will say, I so appreciate Kirkman because he was one of those kids that would come to the comic shop on Wednesdays and be surprised about whatever was on the rack. And he loves that feeling. And I know the first time that I saw, once he got big enough to be able to do these types of things, like when the last issue of Walking Dead came out, no one knew it was the last issue till we had it in hand.
Right.
One week on our invoice, we saw it was an equal number of copies to our last issue of Walking Dead, a Image thank you comic. They didn't tell us what it was. We just got it. And basically it was the first issue of Die, 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 which was a Kirkman like spy, like bonkers spy comic. And he gave us the first issue and didn't tell us what it was. And was like, hey, I hope you like this nice surprise. I hope your customers enjoy this.
So,
And so they've been doing the same thing. Like when did we go to Comics Pro? Was it March?
March.
Back in March, where we sit down with the folks at Skybound, who's Morgan, who used to be at Boom. Now she's at Skybound. And she was like, so before we start, do you guys have any questions? And I was like, yeah, what can you tell me about Transformers? And she was like, nothing. And I was like, okay, all right. She was like, yeah, no idea what you're talking about. None whatsoever. And I was like, okay, that tells me that you do know what I'm talking about. So like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I don't know.
It's been a couple months.
It was like, hey, Kirkman wants to do like a Zoom call about his new Void Rivals book. Anybody who wants to participate, send us your stuff. So about 3 weeks before FOC, we did a conference call with Kirkman and Morgan, and I would say there was only like 25 or 30 retailers on that call. And that was when he was like, all right, here's the deal. Transformers in Void Rivals, and then we're going to be doing all this other stuff. And he was like, but I'd really appreciate it if you guys kept it cool and don't let anybody know, because I want this to be a surprise. And like the art for the 1 in 100 ratio variant has the Transformer on it.
Spoiler alert.
And they still haven't released the art from it.
No.
Officially.
It's on eBay though.
Yeah, the book got spoiled on Friday
because people got their books.
When some retailers get their books early and can't help themselves.
And we just spoiled it now. So.
Yeah. So, well, honestly, had someone else not spoiled it, had it not been all over the place, had I not had 2 new customers come in and become subscribers today, specifically for this book, we probably wouldn't have mentioned the spoiler. If the rest of the world didn't know, we would not say anything about it, because I love that he tried so hard to keep it secret. And I'm honestly shocked that it took that long
So am I.
for it to leak.
But he does have in here, the Void Rivals is really these 2 characters that what the story is going to be about. And these characters are to continue, and they're new for Kirkman.
Mm-hmm.
So these are new characters. So anyway, you may want to pick this up tomorrow. Just saying. May. You'll have to.
It's pretty good.
It was actually pretty good. And once again, it's all setup stuff, right? Like you're learning about these 2 characters. And it's, I guess in some ways, the book kind of hits a cliche about like, hey, we hate each other, but are we really that different?
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Yep.
But
so we're going to move on from that.
Yep.
So next is saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement.
Mm-hmm.
It's a manga. Tommy read.
I
did not.
I read a lot of books today.
Kadasha.
This one looked ridiculous, which is how I choose my manga. But all right, so basically this girl, she's like, her parents and her brother have been killed in a car accident. She's 18. She just graduated from high school. She's trying to decide if she's failed the entrance exam to get into college. So she's trying to decide like what she's going to do about that. Should she get a job, and then like, there's really like her standing on, there's like a cliff with a fence over like a river, and she's standing there and she's really contemplating life and really like going over like, what should I do? And then of course these guys come up and start harassing her, and she's like, nah, leave me alone. And then long story short, she dies. Because it's manga and it says in another world on the cover, so she has to die. Except she doesn't die. She wakes up in like a medieval peasant world. And then not long after that learns that she has the ability to teleport, she calls it teleport, back and forth between her original world and this world. So she's trying to figure out the exchange rate of a gold piece from this world to what it would be in yen. And then she's going, this is one of the most Americanized manga I've ever read, because she's like, all right, I need some weapons. Apparently her brother was one of those people that likes to take her out with like a slingshot and do like paintball and that sort of thing. So he also like taught her some stuff about like crop rotations and stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of actual factual information here. And like, she goes to this mercenary group that's somewhat reputable, whatever that means, because she wants to learn how to shoot guns and use grenades and maybe a rocket launcher.
There's no reputable mercenary.
So this
book is 16 plus, by the way.
Yes.
What's the name of the book again?
It is saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement.
But the only issue that I had with this book,
It's a standard manga title.
she is 18, and they established that in the first few pages. But she looks very young. She's under 5 feet tall. She's very tiny. So there are some fan service stuff that they do in this book, and I'm like, because she looks like she's 12, it's really creepy.
Okay, so you need to read more manga.
I know. This is my biggest problem with manga. Is that is
You got to get over that.
I don't
man.
like it.
You got to get over that, dude.
But before they got to that, I was already kind of pulled into the story. It was
You got to get over that.
good. Anyway,
Anyway,
it was-
moving on.
it was way more guns than I expected, and really kind of fun.
Oh, he's got all kind of guns on the front.
I know, but I wasn't expecting like the actual the drawings of the gun are very detailed and accurate, and the description of what caliber they are and what kind of damage they can do, and they go all in. Like I said, it's a very Americanized manga.
How dare you put cereal in my cereal box? Come on, man. All right. I have not read this one yet either. But once again, this is stuff Tommy read. I did not have the time to read all this stuff. I've read a bunch of stuff, but
I got here really early.
This is the Love Report.
Yep.
From Hippo Park. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Hippo
Me
Park.
neither. I'll tell you what though. This book
This
was
is a young adult or all ages?
It's young adult.
Okay.
I would say definitely young adult because there is a pretty realistic depiction of two teenagers kissing,
It says young adult.
and then the boy trying to go up the shirt
Meh.
unwanted, which got slapped down really fast. And then of course he spreads rumors because teen boys are the worst.
He's a jerk.
But it's these two girls who are late middle school, early high school. I can't remember exactly where they are, but they're like, I don't understand love. One of them's gone out. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term go together, where one day in 5th grade, you're like, hey, you want to be my girlfriend? And they're like, yeah, okay. And then the last day of school, which is the next time you talk to them,
Is that not
you
a
break
thing
up.
anymore?
I don't know. I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is.
Is go together? Do you know what go together is?
It's fine. We're old.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Man, that might be the worst thing to say I'm old than just saying I'm old.
I was also homeschooled, so
Yeah, but just if that's just not in the vernacular anymore.
Well, it might be for people that weren't homeschooled. If she had been homeschooled, and never mind, that was awful. Anyway, these two girls.
Once again, manga. Manga.
These two teen girls are trying to figure out love. So they're like, all right, let's use the scientific method. We'll interview people. And at the end of every interview session, we'll come back here and we'll write all our notes in this journal. And then once we've collated enough data, we'll understand. We'll get it.
Data.
It is the cutest.
that feels personal. For me.
Guess I have to read this now. Anyway.
But
So,
it's not just the romantic love between a boyfriend, girlfriend. It's also about your friendships and when you do find that first person that you kind of start dating and then you sort of abandon your friends, which is very real for a lot of people. It's about the relationships between you and your siblings and your family, and it's I don't know. It at the end of it, I felt very emotional.
Okay, Phoebe says that we're good.
That's true. That's true.
Very good. So everyone has a crush on Felicity, but she doesn't seem to care.
Yep. Yeah, Felicity is a very interesting character, and it's one of the things that I really like because she's basically the prettiest girl in school, and boys are always swarming around her, and she barely talks to them, and then one day they see her wander off during lunch, and they're like, oh, does she have a secret boy, or is she doing something naughty? And they follow her into a science classroom where she's reading a book about astronomy. And when they talk about all these boys really like you, and she's like, no, they don't. They know nothing about me. They think I'm pretty. That's it. They know nothing about me. There's a lot of good life lessons in this book. It's really cute. I love that the main character is a nerdy little girl that wants to use a scientific method to figure out love.
I need to buy this book.
Super cute. God. Speaking of super cute, the other book I read this morning
Was Gnome and Rat.
Gnome
and
and
it
Rat.
is a Random House graphic. And so just so you know, this is usually my speed of reading. And Tommy beat me to my speed of reading.
So I had already done a bunch of work, and I was like, I want to read something really quick. So
And
I read
uplifting.
this. Yeah, it looked cute. Phoebe loves gnomes. That's an important point. And when I told her about this book, and I was like, gnomes love their hats, and she's like, I know that. Everybody knows that. And I was like, we are not all gnome aficionados like you.
It's a gnome home.
Yeah, but look, it's a map. That's how I knew this book was going to be good.
It's a map of the gnome home with the mushroom trail. Oh, the enormous forest.
Yeah, it's cute. It's a bunch of little, like almost like vignettes. It's like 4 or 5 little short stories that are super cute.
Gnomes fit in a hat.
Aww.
There's a recurring bird character.
Recurring bird.
Yeah, there's a recurring bird character. Whenever it's morning and it's time to wake up. Oh, hold on.
Ooh, a hot dog.
The bird at the window says, "Cheepa cheepa, no more sleepa."
And that's why we like books like that.
It was
So I like
much
my
fun.
pizza and taco book.
Yeah, honestly, the inside of the cover looked like the inside of Pizza and Taco because that had pizza, and this has gnome heads.
Yes.
So it looked
Yeah.
like pizzas.
Yeah, I like pizza. And
That was my first thought. I opened the book. I was like, "Is this a pizza and taco
pizza and
spin-off?"
taco.
So confused.
I like pizza and taco.
Yeah,
That's such a good book.
I would like some tacos right now.
That would be good.
Yeah.
We'll just have to do a taco platter one night.
Oh, that'd be great.
But there was actually a lot of books that came out this week.
Yeah, I had
mean,
several more that I wanted to.
I think I read like every DC book that came out.
Oh man,
this
I
week.
forgot to grab the DC books. Yeah, I read Green Lantern. I read Spirit World.
Yeah,
Superman Lost.
Superman Lost.
Yeah,
I still have no idea what's going on with Superman Lost. This issue was confusing.
Okay, it wasn't just me.
No,
like
this issue.
it
so-
felt like we missed part of the story.
So that I don't. Once again, we both love the writer,
Yes.
but I don't feel like they are working. I don't. This is just me, and it's not negative, but for my brain,
Mm-hmm.
I can't figure out their past to current transitions.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was missing for me, this my brain,
Mm-hmm.
in that book, because it was like, well, this has got to be happening now or in the future, not the past. And I don't know.
Yeah. That's a. Yeah. What's your take on the current ASM run? For the most part, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. So it's actually been, I know there's a lot of people that's been hating on it. And I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting a whole lot because I'm not a huge fan of the writer.
Or the artist.
Yeah, we had a different artist this time.
Oh, that's right. It was a different artist. I
Yeah.
forgot.
But I'm not a huge fan of
Zeb Wells.
Zeb Wells.
Yeah.
And once again, it's just his writing and what he's done. But as far as the way he's handled Spider-Man in this story, I've actually had no problem. I've had no problem with the writing of this. And I've liked the majority of everything done. Like we're 27 issues in and a whole bunch of little series from
Yeah.
that whole tree demon pooping on the tree thing.
Dark Web.
Yeah, that thing.
Dark Web.
So we had all of that, but I mean the overall the story itself has been really good. The interactions with like Norman and Peter's been good, and the Black Cat
Yeah, I love everything
Stuff,
with Felicia has been fantastic.
is in it.
I am honestly, I'm getting a little bit impatient, and I'm glad Dark Web was as good as it was, or I would be very impatient right now. I want to get back to Tombstone.
Right.
Like the first story arc had Tombstone, and we haven't seen him
Right.
in forever. And like I know the wedding's coming up between
Right.
Tombstone's daughter and Robbie's son, and I'm excited to see what shenanigans they pull there because I imagine
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I think that's just gonna be a fun
I think so
fun
too.
issue. So Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I mean, I've been reading it every week, and I haven't fallen behind.
And I
So-
will say, if you want to continue to enjoy comics, stay off of whatever subreddit is dedicated to the character that you're reading. Because no one in the world hates Spider-Man like the people in the Spider-Man subreddit.
You keep telling me that. I mean, I don't
They-
go there.
Like their whole thing is, all right, maybe they don't hate Spider-Man because their whole thing is they keep referring to this entire run as torture porn, which it's Spider-Man. Like every once in a while we get a bright spot, but usually he's a beleaguered hero, and like it's fine. I don't know. Anyway, it's like Star Wars fans. Nobody hates Star Wars like Star Wars fans.
I'm just saying, I get what happened between issue 22 and 26 to let that actually takes place before issue 1.
Yeah,
but
most
like
of
his
the
life,
runs, it's been fine.
the dude's got money. He's working for Osborn, and he's dating.
Yeah, he's dating
Felicia.
Felicia. Like,
Wow, your life's hard.
no.
Oh no, as a comic character, your life's awful. Why is
Oh, the ex I'm not over got remarried and has kids now. That doesn't happen in real life.
Have you seen the Black Cat? That's who I'm dating. Oh, your life's hard.
She's a thief. She stole my heart.
Yeah,
Or his heart.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's poor.
Like, I don't know, man.
Poor Peter.
People like to complain too much. And that's why we try not to talk about books we don't enjoy. Because I'd rather just talk about stuff I like.
Yeah.
And if you notice, every time a new issue Spider-Man comes out, except for the last one, because
Well,
there was a decision made that we were both like, not a fan, so we just didn't talk about it.
And it wasn't that it was. There's just things we didn't understand about the last.
Yeah,
issue.
and it really wasn't like I'm angry about this. It was just
Right.
like
So once again,
weird decision.
Let's talk about 26 really quick.
Okay.
Not upset about who died. Once again, I don't care. It's a comic. I don't care who dies. You'll be back. We don't care.
Yeah.
I think our issue really is that it's hard to grasp making a big event or making a big deal about killing a character that has shown up in 8 panels in 26
And
issues.
she has been a bigger part of the story.
Yeah.
Like clearly she'd been in the background a bit. And like I think she was in a couple issues of Gold Goblin, but I don't know if any of you even read that, which you should have. It was fantastic.
The Gold Goblin was phenomenal.
But like, yeah, she wasn't in the book enough.
Yeah, like Megan said, it seemed right.
It did seem random.
It seemed like something for just like if anyone else that showed up in that issue would have died,
yeah,
it would have been fine. I still wouldn't have been mad.
Yeah,
but I could have understood it, right?
I mean, they've killed Mary Jane like 3 times, so if she had died, I'd be like, oh no,
oh no, oh,
but it's
no.
comics,
right?
Like, yeah.
Right. So the dying is not the issue. Me, it's like, does it fit with the story? And I didn't really feel like,
yeah, and that's where our complaint was.
Right. And we've got another issue out. So I'm gonna say, if you would have killed her in that last Champion series when they made the Kamala Law, and all that stuff, fine, right? It's her book,
yeah.
But I've been here 8 panels.
It does feel like this continuation of all right, this character's got a movie coming out. We need to make sure they're dead in their book.
That's right.
Because I think the first Tom Holland Spider-Man, or was it the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man when we were doing Superior Spider-Man? So it was Doc Ock.
It was Doc Ock. Yeah.
When the first Doctor Strange came out, I think Loki was Sorcerer Supreme because Doctor Strange was dead. Like they just love to kill the character that's coming in the next movie. It's wild. I assume Captain Marvel's going to eat it before the movie comes out. I don't know.
The Hollow Eve has been an interesting character. I enjoyed. How many issues did that come out? 3, 4?
3 or 4, yeah.
Look, I'm going to go with 3 just because I can't remember. I enjoyed the first 2 issues because it seemed they were having fun with it. And then the last issue that came out, it seemed to take more of a serious tone.
Yeah.
And so the tone changed a little bit. And that character's already kind of campy with the mask.
Like she's got like the old 1970s plastic Halloween masks that turn her into whatever monster it is.
So as a character, I like her. And like I liked her in Dark Web. And I've enjoyed the first couple of issues. Now, I need to wait and see what the next couple of issues of Hollow's Eve will end up being. But the first 2 issues of it was great. And the third issue wasn't bad. It was like it took a more like something happened. It took a real serious tone. I was like, well, I wasn't
had the same-
expecting it. Maybe,
Yeah.
like it's the writing is great. The art's good.
Yeah.
It's still fine. I just wasn't expecting that serious flip.
And well, because it's Universal Monsters as a superpower. Like it's kind of silly.
It is, yeah.
And like Dark Web was like all this horror themed stuff
Right.
that was played kind of it
was-
didn't seem very serious.
So Dark Web, once again, and I know people hate Dark Web, which I don't understand because Dark Web was written to be 100% campy because the only serious piece in it was Ben.
It was like if you've seen Spider-Verse, it's like the Ben Reilly in Spider-Verse where he's like over the top
serious.
angsty.
I have not seen it.
Oh, I
but-
keep forgetting you haven't seen
I
it
haven't
yet.
seen it yet.
Andy Samberg voices him. It's great.
That's fine.
We did get a question on our Instagram. Are you going to Heroes Con this weekend?
I am.
Somebody is.
Jacqueline and I will be heading to Heroes Con on Friday morning, and we'll be taking a slow road because we're not in that big of a hurry. So we'll get down there sometime Friday. So we'll be at Heroes on Friday and Saturday, and then we will make a decision Sunday morning whether we go back or not. Because I may be once again.
I'm gonna
peopled out.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna use my psychic powers of I've been with you to Heroes Con and say that you will not be going back on Sunday, and if you do, you'll only be there for about a half an hour, and it'll be because you have talked to someone and they will have said, "Come back Sunday, and we will talk about or do that thing."
Yes, probably. So,
Yes.
yes, that is probably the extent of it. But yes, I'm actually looking forward to. I haven't been to Heroes Con.
Oh, God, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time, mainly with the apocalypse and all that
I think it's
stuff.
been like 5-6 years.
But I'm really excited to meet Tula Lotay is going to be there, so I've never met her, so I'm overly excited about that. I'm really overly excited to meet Mike Mayock, who wrote the Cleopatra in space stuff, and he's got a Spider-Man book out tomorrow. It's going to be here tomorrow, so
Okay.
you will see me tomorrow to pick up my book.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he's got an all ages Spider-Man book out. So I'm excited for that. So I'm actually looking forward to this trip. I actually have a few things. And then Jamie Cosley's going to be there. He has a couple panels. So when I talked to him last time he was here, I think I'm going to be working Jamie's table some so he can go do his
Okay.
panels.
Cool.
So I know I'll get to sit down some.
Yeah, I was scrolling through Facebook, I think, last night, and I was, I was kind of scrolling, and I saw our logo pop up, and Jamie was working on something, and I guess on his drawing board, there's a RCX sticker,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, Jamie likes us.
There's a in Carytown there's a store, a bakery.
Okay.
That is so Carytown is a bakery, but it's like all natural vegan type bakery.
Okay.
And I can't remember the name, and I apologize. I'll bring it up next time. But they make like homemade Pop-Tarts and stuff.
Oh, cool.
And so Jacqueline and I will stop by there when we go to breakfast sometimes, and so she can get it. And we were in there a few Saturdays ago, and they have like a fridge cooler where they just put stuff and have stuff in there. And there was like all these different stickers on it. And Jacqueline goes, she goes, we should bring a sticker down here and put on it. I said, you mean like the one that's sitting up there in the middle? And somebody had put a Richard Comics
That's
sticker
awesome.
on that. So that's pretty cool. So
That's awesome.
yeah, and like I didn't notice it either. When she said it, I turned around like that one right there. So
That's really
yeah,
cool.
so that was pretty cool too. I'll know the name of the store next week, and I'll let you know because actually it's Jacqueline loves it, like I don't.
Yeah.
Like it's a bunch of desserts, so I don't. But like they make the homemade like Pop-Tarts, and then they did the like the oatmeal cream pies. They make homemade oatmeal cream pies.
Minglewood?
It could be. That's probably correct. I Jacqueline says go here, so I pull over and park, and then we walk in. But you're probably correct, Phoebe, because it's probably the only bakery that's like that down there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. I go hit the bread company there to get cinnamon rolls. that's right there in front of the Kroger, and then I take her to
Gotcha.
go get stuff there, and then we just keep.
Yeah, I don't really get down there very much, so I don't know what's there.
Yeah. Well, I don't go to. I mean, just happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you show
Sometimes
up
you just show up there.
Like, what?
Well, I think we initially found that bakery last year when we were, so we were on the half marathon training team,
Mhm.
and we were coming back through, and the route took us right back in front of the bakery, so we stopped. So that's how we found that bakery. Yeah, it happens a lot. So, but yeah, if you see me down there, I'll be down there for the 2 days, at least Friday and Saturday at HeroesCon. So, come say hi.
I'll be here.
You can come say hi to us here too.
So you could. If you hadn't been in HeroesCon, you say hi to me. If not, you come say hi to Tommy and Tess.
Gregory is on vacation,
What?
so I've pulled my pricing station out of the back temporarily. So I've got a big mess out in the front of the store.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's just a little cluttered out here.
It's not that bad. That's it. I'm out.
Yeah.
So, yep. And then we'll talk about this next Tuesday again, but then the following weekend we have the Richmond
Oh, right, the
Library
library
show.
show, Richmond
So,
Library Show,
got the
which is
Richmond
at
Library Show,
the
which-
big library in Richmond. I
Yep,
think?
the
Yep.
Main Street one. So we have no idea what we're taking down there. We
Yeah.
can sell stuff there. So
We've
I
got
don't
4
know.
tables.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly. I imagine we'll be taking a bunch of stuff from the all ages
Yeah, I would think.
side. We'll probably take lots of Pokemon. And I'm sure we'll take some new comics.
Yeah.
Because why not? I got 4 tables.
Yeah, absolutely. What?
Any summer crossover comics you guys are excited about?
I don't know if I want to use the word excited.
Yeah, the big crossover stuff I got. So Civil War, the original Civil War almost killed me because I tried to read all of it. Anything that had a Civil War banner on it, I read. And a lot of them, specifically Deadpool and a few of the other periphery characters, had nothing to do with the event. They just happened to be occurring at the same time. So that kind of put me off of like the big crossovers, but like I enjoy the events.
I mean, the big one is the DC one that's going to happen, but it's not really a crossover.
And that's
kind of
the Night
the
Terrors.
Night Terrors or whatever
Yeah.
it's called.
That yeah,
I don't.
I don't even know what Marvel's doing.
Yeah.
Ultimate, the Ultimate thing.
Is that a
Hickman's
crossover
doing.
though? Is that
Oh, I don't know, but
I
it
think
feels
that's just
like
a series.
that is.
I think
Okay.
it's just a mini series. Like DC's got the Night Terrors or whatever that's coming out in a few months, but it's not necessarily a crossover because they're taking 2 months and they're replacing all their books
Yeah,
for 2 months. Not all their books. I should not say all, but they're replacing the majority of their books. So like Green Lantern 2 comes out this week. Shazam 2 came out last week, but issue 3 doesn't come out till September. Because July and August is going to be this crossover, and I'm not a huge horror fan,
me neither.
which is what this is all based out of for the DC stuff. It's like a DC horror book for 2 months, and it's like a giant what if. And I'm just not a horror fan. Like it's not what I normally read. It's not my go-to book. So I'm going to be missing I will personally be missing DC books for the majority of 2 months. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff, that's
no, it's not a reboot.
no,
Not a reboot.
no. It's still taking place in the current timeline. It's just how they're telling. It's how they're telling the story. So instead of doing like you're talking about a crossover, instead of taking the Nightwing book and taking the Titans book and the Superman book, they're just calling it. They're kind of rebranding the Titans book or Nightwing book that month for Night Terror. Is it Night Terror?
It's night. Yeah.
Whatever.
So basically, it's going to be like a 4 or 6 issue miniseries is the main thing, and a bunch of 2-issue miniseries about characters, like the 2-issue Batman series, 2 issues of Nightwing, 2 issues.
So,
of
but
Zatanna.
they are DC is all in on what they're currently doing. They're all in
Yeah.
on
which is good
Tom
because
Taylor and
this
all
Dawn of
this
DC
stuff.
thing
Yeah.
has been great.
Yeah, they're all in on the Dawn of DC. So they've made it clear that the Dawn of DC is a part of the Dawn of DC, right?
Yeah.
So I think the big premise of this is supposed to be that things are going really well in the DC universe right now. Light is coming back, and this is the first attack on that light. Because, once again, you can't have light without dark trying to attack it. And I think coming out of the other side is where we continue with the Dawn of DC, because we have the Wonder Woman #1,
Yeah.
Flash #1, which is keeping legacy numbering now. So we are keeping legacy numbering now at DC. So it's not anything like, it's a part of that bigger story. So I think they'll be fine on that.
We are 2 minutes past time, but what's your opinion on Marvel doing another Ultimate Universe?
Jonathan Hickman's the guy that killed the Ultimate Universe. Him bringing it back just makes sense.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'll read anything Hickman writes.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I'm fully in on this new Ultimate Invasion thing.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the Ultimate Invasion stuff, or whatever it's going to be
Yeah,
called
the
at
little
end.
snippet we got in the Free Comic Book Day book looked awesome.
Yeah,
Like I'm super stoked about it.
And if Hickman's writing it, we're in.
Yeah,
I mean, and
absolutely.
like I said, it's his baby now to do with what he wants, and I'm sure he's going to tie it back into Fantastic Four and Avengers, and
I'm sure. Right,
and
he can't help
everything
himself.
else. Yeah, he can. Yeah, he doesn't know how not to tie something back in. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I think Tessa says she's had enough of us.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
I don't work overtime.
All
Gosh.
right, everybody. So once again, thanks for joining us. We will be back next week, and we hope everyone had a good evening. So make sure you spread this to the masses, and make sure everyone follows us and likes and tells Tess hi all the time.
Hi.
So we got to keep Tess happy. So
Please.
all right, thanks everybody.
Bye.
Bye.